What if your mornings could be inspiring and ridiculously fun?
Kindness Rising isn't just a show, it's a full wake-up vibe.
It's freaking fun, people.
Yeah, man, it's got real get after it energy.
I love it.
Wake up with Kindness Rising.
I help purpose-driven people grow their impact. 5-ingredient recipe to help you build your personal brand. Get out there and take kind action.
If it's live, they'll feel it.
On Kindness Rising, we bring you proven strategies and fresh ideas you can actually use. If you're not failing, you're not trying.
Exactly. Fail fast, rebound faster.
You'll see the bloopers and the genuine connections that make kindness contagious. We sometimes get into a little bit of trouble.
Pretty much my life made the list.
You can trust what you see right here is honest, respectful, and uplifting. Social impact organizations, and we always talk about them. Try kindness. It's way cheaper than therapy. You just made my day. Who you gonna call when kindness backfires? Today we're jumping into the Ghostbusters universe on a Fandom Friday, where curiosity meets chaos. Good intentions sometimes go south, and the cleanup is where real kindness begins. Welcome to Kindness Rising. I'm Matthew Roof, the Uncommon Kindness Guy. I come here every Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. Eastern, to bring you a little hope, humanity, and hopefully some humor and heart. And today is a Fandom Friday, or should maybe I say Phantom Friday, because we're talking about Ghostbusters, a classic Gen X film, comedy film that I know people out there love and enjoy. So come on in and let's talk a little Ghostbusters and that's connection to kindness. Good morning, Lady Drew. Good morning, Mike Sullivan. Happy Friday to both of you, an East Coast and a West Coast. We are at a minimum bi-coastal here, maybe even international, with our friends up in Canada. And we've had people from Italy and people dropping in from all over the place. So I hope we have a great day in the show today. Leading up to the Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and friends over on the Mornings in the Lab network. Kindness is doing the right thing, but what if the right thing ends up being the wrong move? That's what we explore today through Ghostbusters. When that original film came out in 1984, it really resonated because of comedy and its effects, but it tapped into a deeper cultural thread. How we confront what we don't understand. Ghostbusters combined slapstick, science, and human drama, and it left us asking, can bold kindness survive in a messy world? And here's a little Ghostbusters trivia for you. In researching the episode, I found out that the iconic big boss, final boss at the end, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, he was almost cut from the final script because it was considered too whimsical. But that whimsy made that mistake memorable, that failure iconic. So today we're exploring curiosity's power, kindness's hazards, and the truth that sometimes our best acts need humility, not spectacle.
We're officially in business. The Curious Kindness Busters, cleaning up emotional slime since 2025.
Stan, we don't even have a client.
Exactly. That means we're undefeated.
A+ for intent, F- on execution.
Okay, Cal and Stan are getting after it too with our Ghostbusters themes. They are capturing everyone's emotional slime. Get rid of that emotional slime on a happy Friday and let's get up and get after it. We're talking about curiosity, and it isn't optional. It's actually a neurological survival tool. Research shows that when we're curious, the brain's striatum and hippocampus light up. That's not just intellectual, it's emotional. Our brain actually rewards us for asking and for leaning in. And here's the nuance. When curiosity is one-sided, about what we will discover rather than who we can learn from, it can become extraction rather than connection. Just glomming on to people and grabbing all the information and everything we can and utilizing it in ways that don't help the team. That is a way that curiosity can get out of hand. In kindness, that imbalance shows itself when we act from impulse rather than empathy. We may jump in to help people before listening to what's needed. Ghostbusters, it actually echoed that. The team charged in with their proton packs, ready to go, fire it up with the streams, but they ended up summoning more problems. So the kindness spark for today: before your next act of help, pause and lean in with your curiosity towards that person, not just towards the goal. Ask, what do you see? What am I missing? Let your curiosity be kind, not invasive. All right, checking in the comments. If you're out there in the community, please get involved in the comments. Mahala Mullins, welcome in. Jackie Hart, happy Friday. It is good to hear from you, my friend down in Susquehanna, PA. I appreciate you very much. Thanks for coming out and checking out Kindness Rising on a Ghostbusters Phantom Friday. Mike, you're telling your Ghostbuster stories. Definitely tell your Ghostbuster stories. I saw it in the theater with my mom. Yes, exactly. Venkman does show kindness. Rick Moranis' nerdy archetype character. I saw a thing with Rick Moranis on it the other day. You guys know I'm into Mel Brooks films, and of course they're actually working on a Spaceball 2, and Rick Moranis is just coming out of retirement. He kind of stepped away from the limelight. I don't know if people know that Rick Moranis, one of the funniest characters out there from his days back in Canada with Bob and Doug McKenzie. You guys might remember that. Biggs, welcome. Thank you for joining. We appreciate you. Get in and get involved on the conversation about Ghostbusters. And of course, we've got my OG, my mother. You can't lose being kind. Keeps on spreading, even if you don't see it. Thanks, Mom. I appreciate it. Absolutely. That is true, though, that ripple of kindness. Appreciate everyone being in. Lady Drew, you need some coffee cake? I enjoy a good coffee cake too. Absolutely. Well, welcome everybody to Kindness Rising on a casual, having a good time today. Fandom Friday, talking about Ghostbusters. Tell your Ghostbusters stories if you would like. If you've been slimed, what do you think about ghosts? Biggs is asking if I'm a gamer. No, I'm not. I am not a gamer. But I get it. I absolutely get it. The interest that people have in gaming. It's amazing what the games do nowadays. But I'm not. I gave up my gaming back in the '80s with my arcade games. Biggs, yeah, like Pac-Man and Galaga. That was one of my favorite arcade games in the '80s too. Biggs is into Roblox. All right. My kid's into Roblox too. Yeah, I get it. Cool. All right. We're talking about kindness and curiosity with Biggs and Jackie Hart and Mike Sullivan and Lady Drew and Mahala Mullins. I hope you're still here with us. Get involved in the chat. Let's talk about Ghostbusters and kindness and curiosity. Here's a couple of little things that are observed in the movie that connect us to our topics. Let's talk about innovation versus responsibility. I think that's a really cool and important topic. There's tons of innovation happening out in the world. We lean into it at Mornings in the Lab Network, particularly with regards to some of the AI tools that are out there. That train is heading fast down the pipe. Our lives are changing. This is a major moment in culture. just as the internet was, just as radio, just as television. As far as media goes, AI is changing the world and the way that we interact and connect with each other. And that's an amazing innovations happening. But with that innovation, with those innovations, with all innovations, comes responsibility, of course. In Ghostbusters, they had some great innovations. They were making up tools on the fly. They had tons of scientific knowledge, but maybe they lacked some protocols, right? Some safety, some research, and yeah, that's just a little bit of uh, guide rails. That's what I'm looking for. That's where I have been looking for. And the quote, "Don't cross the streams," that's an actual metaphor. Merging power without boundaries is dangerous. Absolutely. As new things come up, as our world changes so fast, part of change is making sure that we're understanding what the consequences are. Unintended consequences are usually where we get tripped up. So um, that's pairing innovation with curiosity and responsibility. Yeah, they also the other thing that Ghostbusters reminds me of is the ghosts we don't see, right? We don't, there's the ghosts we don't see. They subtly are out there. The franchise does that with the ghosts of guilt and suppressed fear and unspoken trauma. I think Dana Barrett's haunting, if we want to get really deep, could be considered symbolic. Her unhealed grief, that depth gives us a lesson. If you think of it that way, kindness isn't just about fixing the visible problems. It's about acknowledging what's hidden, what's emotional, what's systemic, or just as accepted as the way we do things. Those are where kindness can matter the most. That's it. Yes. All right. A little trivia and more trivia on Ghostbusters if people are interested in spaceships. I enjoy spaceship game. Yes, Lady Drew, absolutely. Oh, mom, no, Reggie, no, Reggie's not real. I know we play with those boundaries of real and AI. No, Reggie is uh, art inspired by life. There might be a black and white tuxedo kitten in our house that gets involved in a little bit of shenanigans once in a while. That's our buddy. So no, inspired by the real thing, but he's pure AI. Rizzle Monkey, welcome. Rizzler Monkey, hello, hello. Welcome in to Kindness Rising. Appreciate you. Get involved in the comments. We're talking about Ghostbusters today. Do you have a Ghostbusters memory you would like to share or something you'd like to talk about related to Ghostbusters? I think it's pretty universal out there. Here's a little more trivia. I said I would get into some trivia. The logo, the no ghosts logo, that was almost scrapped. There's out there on the internet, you can see some of the early prototypes for the logos and things. So that almost wasn't a thing. The famous ghost with the line through it. So that's a little trivia. All right. How about the power of curiosity? The power of curiosity in pop culture. Ghostbusters proved that curiosity sells, but also that curiosity can divide. Some saw it as genius. I think it's become pretty genius and iconic, but at the time, people thought maybe that it was a little foolish and silly. And that tension mirrors what happens in real world innovation. The same drive that saves us can overwhelm us if we don't check our motives. I'm looking for our next thing. You guys talk amongst yourselves about Ghostbusters if you want. Oh, here's an interesting little bit. Think about the individual characters in Ghostbusters. They're kind of like archetypal. If you think about it again, we can get really geeky on this stuff if you like. But think about it, Egon. He was totally intellect, like just all brains, right? Ray had all the heart in the world, just wanted to do good, and that's the Dan Aykroyd character. And Peter Venkman, the ego. He is pure ego, right? He wants everything for himself. The scene where he's testing the college students again, iconic, absolutely iconic scene. And then he had Winston, and Winston was always grounded, always had the little bit of extra uh, connection, understanding what's going on. They balanced each other, and that's what balanced curiosity is. No single type, no single aspect of ourselves succeeds alone. They all have to happen together, right? Everything about us happens together. That's what makes a complete person. That's what makes our six strings here on Kindness Rising too. Humor is also key. It's in the chaos, humor always becomes healing and proof that laughter is empathy in disguise.
Stan, what are you doing? Science of kindness, Cal. I'm dissolving negativity.
You're dissolving the counter.
I call it compassion in action.
More like compassion and overflow.
Oh my, Reggie is licking the green slime. I hope he's going to be okay. I'm not sure what that slime is really going on there. Stacy Burns, thank you very much. Welcome into Kindness Rising. I appreciate what you do. I appreciate you being here. Come join us every Monday through Friday, 7:30 to a.m. Monday through Friday. Kindness Rising on YouTube, on LinkedIn, on Facebook. We are here streaming live. We show up every day with consistency to rise above the noise that you typically see, above the junk that's out there in the world, where we talk about real things. We have a little bit of fun, but we always wake up on the right side of the bed, rising with kindness. And I appreciate you. Western VR, welcome. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Welcome into Kindness Rising. Appreciate your generosity, and most importantly, your generosity with your time, spending time with us here, getting involved in the comments, getting involved in the community. That's what we're building. Thank you so much. And let's talk about what gets left behind in the slime. We'll make our transition into intent. Intent matters, but impact teaches. Great intentions are a start, but they don't excuse collateral harm either. So you have to be curious and add empathy, and that's what becomes powerful. Curiosity becomes kind only when we lead by listening, not by pre-launching. Ready, fire, aim. We want to do a little bit of listening before we launch. We need to make sure that we're checking in on things, checking the safety protocols, asking what if this happens, what if that happens. Not so much so that it stops us from action. We want to move quickly through that. Trust your instinct and go. But we also have to just give things just a little bit of thought, particularly in terms of the way our decisions, the things that we do, impact other human beings. Boundaries, those are also about kindness too. Some acts do need containment. Like I just said, we need protocol, we need feedback loops, especially when they affect others. Think about that in the decisions in your life, in your business, in your world, and also important that we learn from the mistakes, because the mistakes are the data. Every misstep shows us a gap in understanding. If we use that gap for learning, not for guilt or to get hung up on it, then kindness becomes stronger inside of us. Remember, kindness is iterative. It's not perfect. Progress over perfection. So we get messy, we clean up, we try again. Those are the things that make us kind. The kindness is in the trying, it's in the intent, it's in the effort. We applaud that here on Kindness Rising. All right. I promised the community that we would get into and talk about stories of people who are connected to our world. It's certainly a lot easier to find information when I'm doing my research about people that you may know, celebrities or people that have some form of notoriety in the limelight. So I'm trying to avoid the obvious ones that pretty much everybody knows. We all hear the kindness stories about people like Oprah Winfrey and Michael Jordan and those big stars. But here's one that I thought was interesting. It's connected to a celebrity. It's not as I guess popular, for lack of a better way of putting it. These are the friendly ghosts among us in our kindness currents. Sometimes kindness comes from the most unexpected places, and sometimes those places aren't even alive. Today's current drifts into the world of the paranormal, the softer side of spooky, because it turns out not all ghosts are out to haunt us. Some, it seems, are here to help. This is the story of Kat Dennings. I don't know if everybody knows who Kat Dennings is, but you might know her from Two Broke Girls or WandaVision. I bet if you saw a picture of her, if you don't know who she is, you would know who she is, because she is she's out there. Absolutely. She grew up in a Pennsylvania farmhouse where strange things occasionally happened. She says lights flickered, footsteps when nobody was home, that kind of thing. But nothing ever felt threatening to her, just aware. And then one day the big story happened when her mom was heading down the basement stairs and tripped. She should have fallen hard based on gravity and physics, but she didn't. Kat says her mother felt herself caught in midair, like invisible hands that steadied her and then gently lowered her to the ground. No injury, no fall, just an overwhelming feeling of safety and gratitude. And Kat calls that her helpful ghost, a quiet presence that seems more guardian than soul. And I love that because it reminds us that kindness can live anywhere, even beyond us.
Don't cross the streams.
Stan, you're the only one with a stream.
Then we're safe.
You didn't cross the streams, you blew a fuse.
Science!
Oh boy, Stan is trying not to cross the streams today. Okay. And we always talk a little bit about branding. I'm going to make that transition. That was a terrible segue, but here you go. Here's my recommendations, my thoughts on how not to smear your brand with slime. Your brand is like a lab experiment. Your curiosity is made public. Ghostbusters showed us that bold ideas attract attention, but only authenticity keeps loyalty. And we talk about our 5-ingredient recipe for personal branding here. We talk about experience, expertise, authenticity, trust, and entertainment. And of course, Ghostbusters showed us all those things. Experience, great brands prove value by doing, even if they stumble. Expertise, don't pretend you know it all. Ask smart questions and show your process. Part of being an expert in things is learning as you go. So being a little bit humble and not pretending you know it all, even if you are an expert in that area, is a way to build your brand. Build it authentically, and authenticity, those quirks, the errors, the cleanup, that's your story. Trust, people will follow those who consistently show up, admit their flaws, and iterate. And finally, entertainment. Infuse your work with narrative, personality, and play. They certainly did that on Ghostbusters. And if you're afraid to go live on video, remember this: your worst flops build your deepest connection. Show your curiosity, your mistakes, and your recovery. That is a brand that breeds. All right. My name's Matt Roof. I am the Uncommon Kindness Guy. I come here every morning, Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. Eastern, to bring a little kindness into the world, to rise above the noise of all the rage bait media that is out there, all the 24-hour news cycle that is just endless exaggeration. I hope people are out there staying informed, but also doing that in a way that is truly balanced with news sources, but also balanced with other forms of content, entertainment, and hopefully a little bit of inspiration along the way. Got to have that balance. I'll skip that. Okay, so let's talk about the fact that we are a network here. We are the Mornings in the Lab network. I start at 7:30 a.m. and then at 8 a.m. we all get on over to Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and friends. They are there to help you not hit the snooze button, to get up and get after it. And I know you will get over there and join in the crowd. It's going to be a great Friday over there. And this is what they're talking about. What happens when men listen to women? Oh boy, that's going to be an interesting conversation. In Ghostbusters, the men handled the gadgets and the ghost lore, but it was Dana Barrett, played by Sigourney Weaver, who grounds the story in humanity. She hears, she values, she questions. And when men listen, not to fix, not to dominate, but to understand, something profound shifts. It builds a bridge that is crucial and shows that curiosity is not enough. It must be tempered by listening, especially when men listen to women historically unheard perspectives. That's how intention becomes wisdom, kindness becomes growth, and how we move from doing good to doing well together.
We contained all the emotional ghosts of our past mistakes.
And we trapped them in a box of my old taxes.
Hey, it's symbolic.
Intent still pure.
Execution still haunted.
There they are, the three of them, Cal, Stan, and Reggie, with their pure intentions, struggling a little bit on the execution. But that's okay. They're out there trying. And I want you to get out there and try this weekend. We always give you a little takeaway, something to think about as you move into the weekend. When you mean to help, just pause for a second. Ask yourself, who is this really for? Am I helping that person, or is this about me? What am I missing? There's something about this situation that I'm not aware of. Check it out. Do a little bit of listening and listen. How might I listen first? Just listen. When someone asks for help, listen to what they have to say. Make sure you know what they're really asking for. When you act from what you understand, not just what you imagine. Let your next kindness be grounded curiosity, not impulsive heroism. I thank you all for coming out today to Kindness Rising. I'll be back on Monday morning, 7:30 a.m. here on YouTube, on LinkedIn, and on Facebook. I'm Matt Roof, the Uncommon Kindness Guy, and this is Kindness Rising. Curiosity is messy. It's unpredictable and kind of frightening, but it's also how we discover possibility. Ghostbusters shows us that good intentions can misfire, but not because kindness is flawed, but because cleanup is part of the story. When we combine curiosity with listening, humility, iterative repair, and our actions then cease becoming a problem solving stunt. They become connection. They become healing and growth. The truth is out there, but kindness is what lets us go out looking together. I hope you have a great weekend. Thank you again for coming to Kindness Rising. And as always, stay uncommon and stay kind.
Okay, Matt, we got the memo about the Kindness Rising promo, but what exactly are we promising people?
And is there craft services? Hey, I need snacks too.
Gentlemen, focus. Kindness Rising multiplies kindness and helps people get up on the right side of the bed.
So wait, we're not doing another angry headline show.
Exactly. We rise above the negative, divisive noise.
Translation, less rage bait, more high fives for humanity.
And this is live, like actually live.
Yep. We go live on YouTube and LinkedIn, 7:30 a.m. Eastern every weekday.
Wait, if it's live, what if I forget my lines?
Then you improvise.
Okay, so our tagline is basically wake up, tune in, and start your day with kindness.
Exactly. Kindness Rising. Good vibes, practical tips, and a reason to get up on the right side of the bed.
You heard the boss. Subscribe now before he makes us do a TikTok dance.
Kindness Rising. Wake up, tune in, and let's make some good noise.